Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. How's everybody doing? Hi, Tony B. I see you there in the chat. Good to see you. And hey, Sandy Wandy. Good to see you. Hi. Well, how's everybody today? Ben. Yes, I did make it. Yes, I did. I guess I got there early enough, and I got there at a really good time, actually, because uh, there was hardly anybody there. So I think that kind of helped speed things up a good bit. So, what's new, everybody, one and all? I was remembering something that somebody said on the lifeboat, and Tommy really took to it, and I did too. You know, addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything. Isn't that good? No, not yet, Ben. Goatsy's not doing okay yet. he I've got 3 days of medicine and 3 different medicines to give him. I am anyway. I've got to give him medicine, and I haven't given it to him yet. I'm trying to space it out so that it's going to be easier to get my hands on him when he's in the stall where he goes at night, rather than out in the field. Because he knows now that when I'm going up to him, it's to give him something that tastes terrible. So he's not going to be as willing a participant. Yes. Thank you, Sandy Wandy. I appreciate that. Yeah. But no, he's not out of the woods yet. But anyway, I need to space the medication out. So I need it to be at the same time. So I'm going to have to wait until he's in the stall and I can give it to him in there. Yes. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, you guys. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, poor little guy. The stuff that they gave me just wasn't doing the trick. He still had a whole anyway. Hey.
Well, at least I wasn't dancing. There. Yeah, so that was a very interesting quote about addiction.
Yes, right?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to admit. I heard one guy talk about addiction being like how did he describe it? Being something that your brain would figure out. I feel horrible. I do this thing and then I feel better. And
Yeah.
that it links all three of those together, and then that's how you get an addiction. And I thought that was very, but yeah, I do like that. I
Mhm.
do like that description of addiction.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Also, I could use some ones. I've been getting these emergency alerts all day on my phone. A guy last seen in Morrilton, Arkansas. Um, he came from he committed crimes over in Oklahoma, as in carjacking and killing people. He
Oh,
did that at least twice, maybe 3 times, and is considered armed and dangerous. Please pray, give some ones, give some good thoughts and vibes for him to be caught. Somebody
yeah,
like that doesn't need to be out and about in the world.
yeah.
I mean, what the actual
hmm Yeah, it's an unfortunate reality of where we live and or what time the time which we live, where
yeah.
that is. I was following up on I can't remember her last name actually now, Madeline Soto. And that is just so pathetic. That is just sad. That's the one where she was a little girl. She just had her 13th birthday, and a piece of crap It's come out now. Police found all this evidence on his phone where he had taken pictures of him and her since she was at the age of 8.
Oh,
And they
no.
and then he took her out. It appears now, this is all speculation from this
Mm.
point forward, but it appears that there's a possibility that she got pregnant and she confronted him about it and he killed her. But yeah, it's a big case. I mean, they arrested him. He's going away for a very long time, but they're still trying to work out the murder trial because they have so much in the way of his photographs. Because yeah, the idiot takes pictures and I accidentally factory reset my phone twice. Well, okay, but then he kept them on Google Drive, so of course they're still able to. I mean, yeah. Now I'm actually thankful that criminals are that stupid.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
to be thankful for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just a
Yeah.
human piece of filth. And you see
Yeah.
this 14 or 12-year-old kid. They're tracking in Texas somewhere that she was murdered.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
I don't understand people.
yeah,
I don't understand that. Why one human being feels like they have the right to extinguish the life of another.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
And no, it doesn't.
And I suppose it's probably a good thing. It doesn't make sense, but still, it's yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Poor girl. That poor girl.
Yeah. Um, I hope that this they got so much stuff on the first one, Madeline Soto. They have so much on that piece of filth that yeah,
Gonna
he's
see
not
the light of day
yeah.
forever.
And I really hope that if there's prison justice, because the things that Tommy talked about with you know because it's no matter how you slice it, just keeps getting worse and worse with this piece of crap.
Mm, mm, mm.
I do find it interesting that there's still some justice, not the law, but justice with how they single these people out, and
Yeah.
with all the stuff that Tommy had talked about. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like a lot of it may depend on where he goes,
mm,
you know? Because I've also heard him talk about, like, not him and somebody else talk about how, you know, fellow prisoners kind of seem to live and let live in some cases.
mm-hmm.
Hey, Misha, good to see you. So yeah, we're talking about criminals for some reason because there's been an Amber Alert or an emergency alert going out on my phone all day to catch this guy that really needs to be caught that's been carjacking across the country. I mean, starting in Oklahoma and last seen in Morrilton, Arkansas. Hey, Shannon Smith, good to see you. You made it back in one piece, I see. That's great. I hope it wasn't too harrowing. But yeah. Mm, mm, mm. I don't really have a lot today because it's like my thoughts have been pretty much preoccupied with this poor little goat.
Yeah,
No, all is good. Good. Good, good, good. And so I don't know what I'm good for today.
I know. I get how that goes. Sometimes you just get your thoughts get you centered on the emergency du jour, and it's just hard
Yeah.
to switch out once you're in there.
Yes, Shannon. I have a sick goat. I gave him. I was supposed to give him one dose of medicine and then another in 2 weeks, which is coming up. But one of them got sick after the fact, after I'd given the medicine to about 5 of them, and he started showing symptoms after that. So I gave him a dose, and within 2 or 3 days, he was still not showing any improvement. So I gave him another dose. I didn't. Probably should have called to ask, but I didn't. I just did it, and he still was not improving. So I had to take a fresh sample in today, and they sent me home with about 3 different medicines that I have to do 3 days in a row, and then again in a week, and then yeah. So yeah, poor little guy. I'm worried about him. I've got to get his first dose in him tonight. But
Does it mouth, or I guess it would be by mouth? Wouldn't be much fun the other way.
yeah, it is by mouth. Thank goodness. I'm terrible at shots.
Yeah.
I just am. But so that's been a kind of consuming my day. Just before I came on, I was making sure that he had plenty of water. They've really been drinking down the water. I'm having to fill their bucket like 2 or 3 times. Hi, hey, La Chameleon. It is good to see you. Yes, thank you. I hope the meds work fast too. Thank you. So what's new with you? Yeah, you, Ben.
Oh, me. I thought you were talking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry about your dog. Some ones for your dog.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, bad week for animals.
Yeah.
You know, and the animals are our trusted friends and companions, and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not a whole lot really. Christy's really been working overtime trying to make some of her astral chart stuff like that, trying to make it make sense to me, which
Okay.
I have a lot of respect for anybody who tries to translate something like that into Benese where Ben can understand it. Yeah, so poor Christy's had her work cut out for her lately. But the way I like to figure it is she must have done something wrong in the previous life to deserve it. So, I'm just to make sure that she does her penance.
Oh, come now.
That's all I got. But yeah, she's a good gal. I really do. Yeah.
Well, I hope the vet gets your baby sorted out quickly, Shannon. I'm so sorry. They do
Yeah.
get our heartstrings. They really do. Yeah, they are. They're very dependent.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I actually had something.
Well, I was so trying to dig in to see if I could find a version of the headbanging cat that was free license, because I was like, okay, I'll get her. She's not able to start. I was trying to find a version of the headbanging cat and then trying to find a license free heavy metal song to use as the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything in time, but that, and of course you're here anyway, so it took the pressure off. But
Right
yeah,
on.
I thought that would have made a good intro.
Yeah, that would have been a great intro. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had something cool to tell you, but yeah, I just
For those of you who missed it, I was bringing up what somebody said on the lifeboat one time that Tommy really took a liking to, as did I. Addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything. And I just loved that. it kind of goes along with this AA Juneteenth daily reflection.
Mm.
Such is the paradox of AA regeneration, strength arising out of complete defeat and weakness, the loss of one's old life as a condition for finding a new one. 1,000 Beatings by John Barleycorn did not encourage me to admit defeat. I believed it was my moral obligation to conquer my enemy/friend. At my first meeting, I was blessed with a feeling that it was all right to admit defeat to a disease which had nothing to do with my moral fiber. I knew instinctively that I was in the presence of great love when I entered the doors of AA. With no effort on my part, I became aware love myself was good and right as God had intended. My feelings set me free where my thoughts had held me in bondage. I am grateful. Well, she was here and then she wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm here.
Oh,
So did you hear the thing that I said said from the lifeboat about how addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything?
Yes, that is so beautiful and so true.
It is.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think when you say it that way, it's really beautiful because then it makes recovery not seem like such a big scary thing. Like, I mean, I get that it's a big scary thing and it's difficult to manage, but when you frame it that way, it's like, well, why would I not do it that way? You know? So
I just learned we have a community clinic now that helps people with recovery, that, you know, with medically assisted treatment, I'm assuming.
Nice.
They had a woman on talking about how, you know, addiction had gotten her in so much trouble, and this clinic helped her. So I'm so glad to know that it's here, you know, that they have something that's medically assisted treatment. And I'm assuming that's what there's nothing else that a medical clinic would do, you know. I would think.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm glad that that's in your community. I mean, and that's a good resource for you to know about.
Yeah.
So, am I okay? Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's a little spotty on my phone.
Okay. It makes it sound so simple, even though I know it isn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of untangling to do. First getting sober, a lot of untangling in the mind, in the body, you know, in the soul.
yeah.
Right. But like you said, if you look at it as I'm giving up one thing for everything, if that becomes your mantra, even though you've got to untangle all of that stuff, it gives you motivation. It gives you a reason. It gives you some of that stuff that you need. Because if you're just kind of wandering aimlessly through the woods, it's not that you're not ever going to get out of the woods, but you don't know how. But this is like look, here's this. So nice.
Yeah. I had something to add to that. I'm losing my thoughts as quickly as I'm gaining them today. One of my goats is still sick, so I had to take another sample in today, and and I've got 3 days, the next 3 days of medicine to give him. 3 different medicines tonight, and then 2 for the next following nights. I have to wait until night because it's going to be easier to get to him in his stall than it is out there in the field.
Yeah. Well, do they have any idea what it might be? That your goats have?
Yeah. And so it was a fresh enough sample that they were able to get a better read this time.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was a different goat too. The one that I got the sample from, he's fine. All the
Mhm.
rest of them recovered from the medicine they gave me last time.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
I love that video, Awakened. That was a good video.
Right on. Hey, 410, welcome. Welcome to Needing a Meeting. It's really good to see you. I wish I could remember what I was going to say because it was kind of good.
Welcome to my
That's
life.
always the worst. Right. That was me yesterday. I didn't know words. Like normally I have a really good handle on the English language, but yesterday, nah, was not my day.
My daughter's trying to,
Mm.
because she told me that it's just kind of been a chain reaction, and I think I've already said this, that I gave up nicotine, and one of the things was that nicotine helps focus with ADHD. Okay, but okay, it's not going
Wow.
to be much. But okay, so I give
Right.
that up. Well, then my heart rate drops, which then I don't need 2 doses of clonidine. I only need one. Well, one of the
Wow.
side effects of clonidine is it helps with ADHD. So I'm kind of screwing myself. And I just cannot. I mean, it's, I realize, and I'm thankful that my ADHD is not as bad as some people. I mean,
Mhm.
I know of a host of people where they cannot function. I
Mhm.
just give the illusion that I can function when I can't. I'm kind of like the illusion of clean. When you're cleaning your room up so your parents don't see the mess, you just throw everything underneath the bed or in the closet where they'll
Right.
never find it.
Yeah.
That's me with ADHD. It's just the illusion I don't have it.
uh,
But oh well, it'll get better.
right.
I remembered what I was going to say. The encouragement of giving up the one thing for everything. It can
Mhm.
take a lot of time for you to start seeing something of
Mhm.
the everything.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah.
me. It took a good long while,
Right.
and it was very discouraging.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah.
No,
So I just
it's
want to encourage anybody out there that's struggling. It does
Mhm.
happen. You just got to stick
Right.
with it. You
and it's
just got to
Right.
stick with it, and that's all you got to do. You
and it's
know?
so
Mhm.
easy to get discouraged
Yeah.
anyway. With
Mhm.
the way things are going. Oh, I got to get plant break before she gets to the camera. Oh, come on.
I ran.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Sorry for being late, guys. I really wanted to be here on time, and then everything went, whoo, nope, we're going to be a bit chaotic.
Okay. Okay.
But my
Well, you're
laundry's
still
in, so there's a positive.
right on.
There you go.
Right on. I'm going to say it again, even though y'all have all heard it. I was remembering something that I heard on the lifeboat that Tommy took a liking to, and I did too. Addiction is there's a wasp, and I can't tell if it's indoors or outdoors.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Hey.
Addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything.
Mhm.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah, and it takes time, and takes some work. So there's some detangling to do, some
Mhm.
untangling of quite a lot of things, because addiction is a very complex process of recovery. It can be.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
usually is. It
I'm
usually
just
is.
writing this down so I don't forget it because I love it.
Right on. Yeah, nicotine does seem to help focus. It doesn't necessarily have to be the kind that you light on fire.
Yeah, and I am thankful for that. I mean, and now there
Yeah.
was a reason why I started nicotine again, because I used to chew, and I smoked for a short time in college, just when I was around finals. But yeah, I can't smoke for a living because I will burn too many shirts. Because who knew you're supposed to actually dump the ashes out. What's that about? I mean, I'm just a guy. I don't worry about that. So yeah, I'd burn the living snot out of myself. But I chewed tobacco, gosh, 20 years ago. But this last time I took up nicotine for a reason. I don't recall what it was, and it was nothing good. It was nothing.
Yeah.
There
Mhm.
was no neuroscience behind it or anything like that. I took it up
Yeah.
just for something stupid. But luckily, I am thankful that, yeah, I only did the nicotine lozenges. And the thing was, I would have been fine if I just managed to keep, 2 a day. Yeah, it would have been.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, the problem was I was doing like 18 a day.
Oh.
So yes, and I realize what that is. It may not even
That's a lot.
be necessarily nicotine addiction. It could be if you're doing a lot of object insertion in body language, your for
Mhm.
stuff here now. In body language circles, that's a need for reassurance. Um,
Okay.
so,
Mhm.
yeah, when you're finding that you need to be reassured, you tend to, not you, but people will tend to throw
Mhm.
pins in their mouth and things like that. So, yeah, that's me. So,
410.
Mhm.
I am in Northwest Arkansas. And if everybody else wants to tell where you're from, and that's US, of course. Where are you from? 410.
I am in Kansas right now. And that, oddly enough, I'm back to the state I was born in. I just recently got here from Kentucky by way of Maryland. Don't go to Maryland. It's a whole
Oh,
thing.
he
Don't do
said
it.
Baltimore, or he or she said Baltimore.
There you go.
God bless you. That's where I was. Oh man, I almost got thrown in jail in Baltimore because people honking at you. Y'all, I have PTSD from that. I'm not even joking. It was so bad. I
I
called my
can
husband one
verify.
day. Yes, I called my husband one day. I'm like, leave your job. You're going to have to bail me out. I mean, I was just like, so you have my sympathies and understanding.
Born and
But
raised and lived there. Okay. Well,
nice.
welcome. Anybody else want to chime in where they're from? I love
I'm,
Baltimore, says
I'm in
410.
Canada.
if
What's
you
that?
I just said I'm in Canada. I'm in
Okay.
Quebec. English speaking in Quebec. That's all.
if you find the armpit of the universe, I am there. So just yes, I am a little bit outside of Tombstone, or I'm in between Tombstone and Tucson, Arizona. So yeah,
Nice.
and nobody knows where that is, and yeah, that's probably a good thing. It's not that bad. I kind of like summer. It's just summer
Mm-hmm.
here all the time, and
Yeah.
okay, you know,
Yeah. So
that's
we've
Yeah,
all I
got
got.
New Zealand,
I lived
California.
I lived in San Diego County, kind of all over San Diego County, up until 2009. I went there in 94 and came back and left in 2009, the fall of
Mm-hmm.
2009. When
I've lived
my
in.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I've lived in Northern California. So we lived in Napa and we lived in Rio Vista for a while. I spent some time in Pinole.
And Okie, we got
I've
an
not
Okie in
lived in
the
the
house.
States. I've not lived in the States at all, but yet I've been across Canada. Multiple provinces I've lived in.
Yeah.
So I have to, it's been really, really hot here. Like really, really hot. I've been waiting for like a good thunderstorm because when it's hot rain, I don't know what it is. I really like sitting in it. It almost feels like a renewal
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it poured and poured for a little bit. And I was out there in a lawn chair. And somebody comes outside and goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, sitting in the rain. It feels good. But
Right.
why are you there? Because it feels good.
That
So
is very
I got my little
cleansing.
cleansing Yes, I got my little cleansing today. Appreciated it muchly, especially seeing as we're back to over 100 degrees again immediately after the rain.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it is here when the humidity kicks in. It's like it rains and it's nice and you kind of get a little red and it's like it's hot because of that heat index when the rain goes away. So it's kind of one of those bittersweet things.
Yes. And I set my computer to go to Fahrenheit now, so then that way I can be like, oh, hey guys, I don't have to translate it from Celsius every time now.
That's awesome.
Kilograms to pounds is pretty easy, but yeah, the whole Celsius to Fahrenheit thing. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Kilograms to pounds are easy, but that's also something that was like a part of the program that I did for electrical engineering technician. So it was like some conversions, but no temperature conversions, none whatsoever. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to live with that for the rest of my life.
Right. Right.
And that's
So-
I keep forgetting the whole engineering thing with you, but it explains so much about why you're always doing the tech thing, and I'm kind of jealous of that, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with my stupid DVD player still 12 o'clock. I accept that. I'm good with that. As long as you can do yours, I can leave mine the way it is. It's all good.
Haven't been to a meeting since before COVID. I don't know why that has to be a thing, why we can't just say those words, but I just got a notice today that my video was not suitable for kids. I'm like, duh, but they decided to call me on it for some reason. I'm like,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I know. So I gotta write back and see what that's about. But anyway, so I guess I need to be a little bit careful until if I'm under some kind of microscope here. Zoom meetings with locals wasn't my thing. Good stream though. I feel you. I feel you, 410. I do. I had a friend. I mean, she wasn't a good friend, but somebody that I knew. Passed away during COVID with her husband. They showed up to a shelter and they were intoxicated and they were turned away, and it was a freezing night, and they pitched a tent and just drank themselves into basically hypothermia. And I needed a meeting so badly that day. I really did. And I went to a church where they were supposed to be meeting, and it was just a ghost. There was nobody. And I couldn't get hold of any of the meeting leaders. They've since straightened that out because I've actually looked into it for, into AA for other people. But yeah, it is awful, Shannon. It shouldn't have happened. They should have had something they could do for them.
Yeah.
That was shameful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was an LPN and just got swept up in addiction. That's all in the world it was. Yeah. Yeah. And I get the safety aspect of it. You do kind of it's kind of a communal situation. But yes, Shannon, I agree. It should never happen. It should never happen.
Especially in that type of a situation.
Yeah. I had no idea she had gotten to that point in her addiction, or that she was even having issues with her addiction. She'd gone kind of off grid, and 12 years of being a human pincushion, but for sure been a while since I've been in the rooms. Yeah. I guess this is kind of the way it is now. I started this because I I needed meetings, and I had trouble with some of the things that came with AA, and they just weren't going to work for me personally long term, you know. And I kind of recognized that about 7 months into my recovery. And I took some detours, but I stayed the course. I did at least stay sober, and I did do as much work on myself as I could do without a sponsor, and and congratulations on 12 years. Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
To be
Shannon,
honest,
I've been off for 1 week completely. But it's not the same as somebody who just gave up smoking. Stepping off of 1 milligram of nicotine is so much easier than somebody who quit smoking. So that and I got
nicotine is nicotine, though.
that and I got meditation and hypnosis on my side. So, and I'm surrounded by, well, not in real life, but on the screen, I got good people pushing for me. So how can I go wrong with that?
Right.
And that's what I was gonna say. For me, like, if it wasn't for meetings like this, it wouldn't be sobriety as easy as it's been. It's not been super easy, but it's definitely been easier than it was the last time.
Yeah.
We celebrate milestones here, 410. And this was my mama's tiara. She wore it for her 95th birthday. And it was her last birthday. She was going strong, and she was doing good until she wasn't. And then mercifully, it just happened that quick for her. But she lived a great life. She had a great run, and we did it up right. I had people come, and we all wore tiaras, and my husband had made her a little chariot that we could push her around in, and and we had a tiered cake that said 95 years regal because her last name is King. And so we get Mama's tiara as to celebrate any milestones of sobriety or quitting an addictive behavior or whatever the case may be. If you're celebrating a milestone, we do this. We get out Mama's tiara. So I just wanted to give you Mama's tiara.
I love it. I love it.
I quit so much in my life. My biggest vice has always been cigs. Yeah. How are you, Cosmic?
Oh.
I'm all right. I'm just trying to arrange to go pick up my medication.
Okay.
I didn't feel good enough to go for a drive yesterday, so
really
slept all day.
Okay.
Well, it's dangerous to drive when you're fatigued, whether or not it's from physical fatigue or not sleeping. So I just thought, because I drove to the shop and I was really jumpy. I was like, like there's spiders coming everywhere. Just because I thought something was going to happen because I felt so wrong driving. And I was like, no, I can't keep driving feeling like this. I feel better today. So we'll see how I go. I've learned how to cough so it doesn't quite hurt so much.
oh, bless you. Bless you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have to cough on the high note, not the low note.
Are you past going into the hospital or?
Oh no, I'm still. My doctor said I still need to go for that, but
okay.
I have to wait until I've got the people that are there who can support me while I'm in there.
Okay.
So I can't just be like, I have decided this, and then everybody else can be ready. Everybody else has to get ready too.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, how are you doing while you're waiting?
Yeah, all right. That's kind of why I jumped on here.
Right
I'm just
on.
waiting to see if everyone's awake because it's just like I was listening. I'm like, it doesn't feel right. I'm not here. So I was just like, but yeah, no, I'm all right. I think I'm getting used to the idea, and especially knowing now that it's I'm having mental issues. It's not just, I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that makes me feel better.
Yes.
So, and huge support from everybody here. You guys are great.
Yes.
So appreciate.
Shannon, are you having a tough time because of your dog, or is there more going on that if feel free to share if you want to. You don't have to.
Oh, how's the goat?
I'm having to keep my eye on him. I can give him his medicine that they just sent me home with, but it would be better to give it to him when he's in a stall rather than in the pasture, because I can get my hands on him easier to give him his medicine. But for the next 3 nights, I'm going to have 2 different medicines to give him. But tonight I have to give him 3 medicines. So I'm hoping that
it's like looking after a baby.
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
So I think I missed what the diagnosis was with him. What was it, or what is it that's ailing him?
Well, they gave me medicine for worms. I guess they had a type of worm that was really making him sick. But with him, it turned into coccidia.
That's not good.
Well, it's what he told me it is.
Okay, no, I'm just curious as to what it is, because I've never lived on a farm or had to deal with herds of animals before. So it's just me and my pure curiosity. That's all.
I'm assuming it's something like C. diff for humans, that it's something along those lines. His immune system just got way down, but he wasn't showing any symptoms until after I gave the other guys medicines.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But that's the thing about goats, is a lot of times you won't see symptoms until it's almost too late. Got to get back to work. Nice to meet y'all. I'll be back. Enjoy the rest of the week, everyone. You too, 410. Thanks for stopping by.
Some sort of
Appreciate
parasite.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense, especially seeing as it's with the worms. So no. See, that's just my pure curiosity, my thirst for knowledge. I hear something I don't know. It's like, what is this? Please inform me, because it's more information I have in my brain.
Well, see, I was just guessing as to what it was. I didn't know for sure. I just know that that's what they told me.
Well, as long as their eyes don't glow and like Gauld, I don't think anybody caught that. Plant caught the reference.
I caught it too.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh my God, now I need to watch some Stargate.
I did not catch the reference, and I apologize, but we all know I wouldn't catch it.
I was too busy coughing over there.
Yeah, the Gua Old were the arch enemy of the Stargate people.
Except for Teal.
Okay.
Teal's a good one.
Yeah. But you know what, Christy, I'll give it to you. I'm proud of you. You got the Death Star right. I can't remember when it was, but she was like, I can't remember. It's the Death Star, and I think it's
yes, that was one of my lives. Yeah, I was like, oh wait, I know this one. I do good with that, y'all. I'm real basic.
You have knowledge in other areas.
So anyway, guys, they're awake now, so I'm gonna head off.
Okay.
And I'll probably, if I get back in time, I'll be on them. I'll just listen, or if not, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Love you. Have a nice day.
Love you. Bye.
So yeah, poor little things.
Yeah.
I hope everybody else is okay. So far, so good.
Good. Well, I have had a little bit of stress in my life, and so it's not that serious. It's sorted itself out since, but so my husband, he had to take 3 weeks off of work because did you want to address that?
No,
Is
it's
that
okay.
anything that needs to be? Okay. I can't see all the comments. I just see when it pops up, so I didn't know if it was important. So Michael had to take 3 weeks off after we left Baltimore and before he went to El Paso. Then he was in El Paso for 2 weeks, and then they sent him to North Dakota. Well, the job in North Dakota, normally when they do, so he builds and repairs storage tanks in the petrochem industry, which means he could be working around jet fuel, crude oil, any kind of asphalt, any kind of stuff like that. So he gets to this job in North Dakota, and most of the tanks he works on are out of service. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Wrong earbud, wrong ear. Sorry. Most of the tanks he works on are out of service, meaning that they're empty. And this particular one was not empty. And this is something that they've never asked him to do in the entire time he's been with the company. So he gets there and he's looking into it, and he finds out that the chemical that is in this is called, I wrote it down. Okay, I lost it. Anyway, it's more flammable. Peptine. It's more powerful than gasoline. So the flash point of this. So flash point means the point at which something catches on fire, right? Is lower than gasoline, and there's like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons in this tank.
God.
So he was like, no, we're not doing this. I wish I had that. So he calls me and he's explaining to me that there's all of these, there's these different like hydrocarbon chemicals. I wish I knew where that little piece of paper went. These different hydrocarbon chemicals and all of this stuff that could like catch on fire. And because the flash point is lower than that of gasoline, and if you've ever seen anybody weld, sparks fly everywhere. My husband's like, this would blow us up. This would blow up the refinery. This would blow up half of North Dakota. So, he's like, well, he's like, what's going on? And I said, well, if it was me, and I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job because you're a grown man and you know how to think for yourself. I'm like, I would get on the phone and I would say, no, I'm not putting my life and my guys' lives in danger like this. The refinery, the people that are working in the refinery and the towns around it. And the company policy, per the company policy, they never should have even taken the job anyway. So I'm like, they can't fire you or anything for it. And I said, so I would tell him, federal law in the States requires that, if you're at work, that you don't work for free. And I'm like, so I would make sure that they paid you for this. I would make sure that they did all of this. And I said, and I would explain all of your concerns. Now, my husband works for a very good company. They're very ethical. I know this sounds bad. It was just, sometimes the people in the office don't understand what goes on in the field. And if they don't think things through, then they can put someone in the field, in a position that's not favorable. So fortunately, it all worked out. Like, they're not doing the job. The guys are getting paid for some days anyway. But so now Michael has to go to Peoria, Illinois for his next job. And so that starts on Monday, but he's got to leave like today or tomorrow to go there. And then, so when my husband gets stressed, how there's like fight, flight, and then apparently fawn and freeze and all of these other things. Okay, I'm a fighter. So I am going to fight you. Even if I don't have a dog in the fight, I'm going to find a dog and I'm going to put it in the fight and we are going to fight. Okay. Like, I am going to fight you. It's just who I am. Okay. Like, but my husband is, his is more of a flight response. Now, if it's like physical danger, he's not going to run away from a fight. He's ex-military. But so his response, and we've talked before about how the place I come from is always very logical, and the place he comes from is emotional. So yesterday, what he was talking about all day was how he Oh God, you guys, how he wanted to just quit his job and take a few little things, pack up a rucksack. If you don't know what that is, that's the big green army bags that they hike, 15 miles with, that you can put 150 pounds on, and hike into the woods in Alaska and like cut down trees and build a cabin and build a garden and like forage off of the land and eat berries and kill bears and all of the things, right? And he had a water filtration system in mind, and he was going to build me my little hobbit house, and we were just going to take what we could carry on our backs and drive somewhere and leave everything and hide. And everything in me is cringing, it's crawling. I'm like, oh my, but I understand my husband enough to know that he just needs to get this ridiculousness out, right? He just needs to word vomit all of this out so that he feels better in his heart, even though it gives me full-blown anxiety. It makes me anxious. So, y'all, he is picturing a life that is like Legends of the Fall, where he's like Tristan with this long flowing hair on this steed, and he does these things and he conquers these things. And y'all, no joke here, I am picturing Into the Wild. If you're not familiar with that book, it's on Audible. Listen to it. It's amazing. But it's about this dude who goes to Alaska completely unprepared, hikes in, is going to stay in a bus, and ends up starving to death. Like, it's really a tragic story. Like, it's timed at the wrong point. The guy ends up dying. It gets found like 2 months later by some hikers. So I'm thinking this is going to end this way, and he's thinking he's going to look like Tristan in Legends of the Fall. And I'm just like, oh my God. So that was going on last night. He's going all prepper. He's like, we can have a root cellar and we can do these things. And, and I'm like, and he's like, we could have load stations and we could filter water through sand. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And so that was last night. And then this morning, he calls me, and this is before I knew all of this, like he could have potentially been blown up. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And in my mind, because he is the type of person where I would be like, the bridge is busted with like one little plank. Let's fix the bridge, fix the plank, and we'll continue to use the bridge. Michael's like, no, we'll just blow up the bridge and we'll hike 20 miles that way and let's just build another bridge, So, like it very, very different. But so finally, he's on his way to Peoria, Illinois for a government job, so that's good. And at least headed off into the wilds of Alaska is not a thing as of right now. So, but I listened to plans. You guys, I think preppers would have probably been jealous of these plans that he had. He's like, we can can things. He's like, you can learn to can.
He's been thinking about some things.
Oh, he has. Yeah, he's like, you can learn how to can and garden, and I can build you your hobbit house, and it can have a round door. And he even had this. I don't even know how this would work in my head. Okay, like I'm not this mechanically inclined, but he's like, well, we could have a fireplace with a chimney, but so that the smoke doesn't go up too high, so people don't see where we are. He's gonna have this like this shoot off of the chimney, and I don't know. Don't ask me how it works. Something about like water filtration, like a swamp cooler, which is then going to put the ash over here, and there's no smoke that's going to go up over here. And in my mind, I'm just like, I'm dying of smoke inhalation. Like, it's not getting out the chimney because I don't know what the hell you're thinking. But in his mind, he's like, I can give you your hobbit house with the round door and the round fireplace, and I can provide this to you, and we can be free. And I'm like, free of sanity, free of whatever. But then he says this. He says, but I'm not going to do this until you tell me it's okay to do this. And whenever we decide it's okay to do this, we're just going to send a note to everybody that we love. And we're just going to say, we're going off the grid. Don't come looking for us. You will never find us in case we pop back up on the grid. And so then my response was, and you got to remember, like, it's funny, but I was really kind of stressed about it, was I'm like, what if you die first? Then what? Then I'm going to be this old lady who's like, 60 years old out in the middle of effing nowhere in the woods in Alaska? And what, am I just going to hike my happy old little butt into town? And he's like, no, you'll be very well set up. And the whole time I'm just thinking, okay, Christy, shut up. Just shut up. This is the point where you be a good wife and you just let him get this all out so it doesn't build up inside of him, and you just listen to the story. And the whole time I'm going, bless it, God help me. Okay, yep, gotcha. Okay, well, yep, we'll carry potato seed. I don't even know how potatoes don't grow from seeds, do they? Anyway.
Yes.
Do they grow from seeds?
There's
Do
actually,
they
Kirsty,
seeds?
I am laughing hysterically, tuning
Uh-huh.
in because a part of me probably in a past life did all of that. And so it makes
I will send you to him, and you two can go off. It's like, no. I will be like, I know a lady. It'll be great. Go. Please go. No, I'm teasing.
No, I'm
But,
teasing
yeah.
you. I'm like, if you could get me a little house in the middle of the woods where I could do some of that and I don't have to work to pay for
yeah.
I would happily garden and do all of those other things and maybe raise a few goats because that sounds really fun, and chickens. But seriously, I grew up canning and doing all of that.
Not me. I have bougie girl problems.
Dear, I want the internet too, and stores and fabric. Regular.
I want eyelashes. I want eyelashes and bougie coffee, and I don't want to have to grind my own coffee beans. No,
Actually,
I mean, you guys.
There's some very good burr grinders. I can help you.
I mean, if it ever gets that serious that I come on here and I'm like, all right, remember when I was joking about this? I'm serious. Like, maybe y'all might want to consider some sort of mental health intervention because I might need it. I might have cracked. I might just be like, of course, I take mental health seriously, but
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, now at least he's on his way within the next day or two to Peoria. But it was a stressful couple of days, and I was just like, oh, how are we going to do this? Because 3 weeks without a paycheck is I mean, that's a lot for anybody. Like, it doesn't matter if you make $8 an hour or $800 an hour. That's still a lot. Speaking of, I will be right back.
If she ever goes off grid, I think we need to set up a handbook for her because I could help her out.
Here's the gardening handbook. Here's the farming handbook. Here is the canning handbook. We got you covered.
And you could host me for several weeks in the summer because I'd like to not live there in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And I would really rather not have to own a gun because there are bears outside. Because frankly, Alaska is one of those places where I kind of feel like I'd have to own a rifle.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to.
You live in northern Canada. Yeah.
I'd rather not. Considering that was the one way that I figured I could end things if I ever wanted to do that. I'd like to never put myself into that place because I figured the only way that I could do it without it hurting really, really bad was to potentially shoot myself. And so that's why a gun is a big deal. I don't ever want to have it in a position where I can own one. Because I don't want anybody to think that I'm planning on doing anything.
Okay.
But when I've been really, really depressed, I've gone through the list of things. Okay, what if I took pills? What if I did a knife? What if I did this? You know, kind of as you go down the list of things. And everything hurts and you never die as quickly as you think. And of course, guns, you may not either. But at least if I'm going straight in here to my head.
Rebecca, no,
Right.
no.
And see, this is why I don't want to own a gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why, yeah, it'll be
This
fine.
is a good safety plan, in my opinion. Don't put yourself in a position where you need to have one for any reason whatsoever.
Rebecca.
But
Mhm.
if you wanted to grow some
No.
chickens and give me a
I'll
spot where I can
confess,
fabric,
I have
right
gone
away.
through the list of things. I had one occasion where I was serious about the list of things. So yeah, let's not get there, people.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Every time I hear about moving to any place, Alaska, I always think Donner Pottery, and that didn't end so well. So yeah.
I kind of assumed, because I'm used to the north of because I live in Minnesota, we get cold. We can get temperatures that fluctuate, 150 degrees in a year. It's not unusual to get a potentially above 100 one summer and then a negative 150 or negative 50. So it's not weird. And so the whole kind of prepping is what my mom had to do to make it through when we were growing up. And so I knew how to grow a huge garden and can and freeze stuff. And yes, there's a reason why I knew how to do all that. So I do kind of feel like in a previous life, I probably did. Or I lived in the frontier. I don't know. I'd like to have the internet and electricity and running water.
Mm-hmm. And hot water.
Hot water, yes, that I don't have to make myself.
Yeah.
I want a water heater to do it for me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's an on-demand water heater.
Yep.
I'm good with that. I just don't want to have to do it myself.
The tankless, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about those Yankees, Shannon Smith? Amen. How about those Yankees?
Can I share a win?
Absolutely.
I sewed today.
Yay!
And I had a really good nap. So I sewed just some very basic stuff. And it was the quilt pattern that I've talked about doing that was red, grays, and black. I mean, I think I've shown the picture. It was just sewing straight seams. There's a lot to do, but I sewed like 7 or 8 of them and then matched some more fabric up. So ready to sew some more. And I haven't done that in over 3 weeks.
That's gotta feel good.
It feels really, really good. And then I was tired and I took a really long nap and had felt sad initially because DJ wasn't cuddling with me like normal. And then she came and cuddled with me sometime after I fell asleep. So I woke up with her paws in my hand.
Aww.
Very adorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get to see my partner later. Life is really, really good.
That is good. I'm feeling a little bit of a burden to reach out to anybody who is struggling with those lines of thoughts.
Yeah.
Any ideas on how to reach out?
If someone is feeling kind of
going through the list of things.
Well, therapy, one of the things I've talked with my therapist about this, we did lots of conversations. Going through the list isn't necessarily as bad as when you move a level beyond that. So the suicidal ideation is kind of a level different from when you're ready to act on it. Okay. And so if you're starting to have thoughts like that, you need to get some help, whether that's meds or you see someone or
getting off meds
getting off meds, whatever it happens to be. You need to work with someone, a professional, to deal with that. I fortunately had a therapist and we talked about it, and I know that there's a level, because speaking for myself, I knew there was a level between now if I occasionally feel that way and my brain starts to go a little bit that way, and how far along I am before I need to start to worry.
Yeah.
And so I encourage people to really be aware of kind of where they're at in their body.
Yeah.
If I can just get some clarification, Carol, for myself, you're struggling to figure out how to reach out to somebody who you are concerned might be doing that?
If somebody happens to be watching that is struggling with that right now,
okay,
I don't want to be a catalyst for pushing anybody over an edge. You know, when I got there myself, I went through all the people in my life, and you know, my husband wasn't enough. My mother was not enough. But when it got to my son, whom I knew was struggling,
that was different.
I just thought, okay, well, what kind of message am I sending to him about whether it's worth it or not if this gets carried out? And so, you know, then I did reach out to a hotline. I got hung up on by a hotline.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did some more Googling, and I found somebody via text, and they were the absolute right person. I don't even remember what they said to me, but we had a great talk. You know, and that you could tell they really had been there, and they really understood, and they really were well, you know, had gotten well. And you know, and so the question for me began to be, okay, well, if I'm going to live, how do I continue with, you know, the settledness and the peace that, you know, the thought brought to me? How do I carry that forth into my life? And I realized I did not want to DIE. I just wanted the tormenting thoughts and the torment of my life and all the things to stop.
Yeah.
You know, and
and that was exactly the same way it was with me. I felt like I no longer had options. That, you know, it wasn't the whole. I find the idea that, oh, it's anger turned inward. I didn't find that to be the case. I found it to be the lack of options. It's like, no, this is so bad. I am in a position where I'm in more pain than I can imagine. I cannot let this go on. And now all I needed was somebody to come alongside and say, that's not true. You know, you think you're like this right now, but that's not true. It's kind of like the reality of somebody's husband trying to move up to in the middle of Alaska. I mean, you have the idea, and we do the same thing. We catastrophize things. We're like, oh no, this is so bad. And it's like, no, you just need somebody to come alongside and say, this is the reality of it. You move up there, you're going to die. You know.
No, you're not. Not necessarily.
You move up
I think it might.
With the bears, they're going to eat you. That stupid Yeti thing's going to come down off the hill.
Oh, I forgot about Yeti.
But Ben, I think you make a really good point, because part of it is for me, when I got to that place, it was feeling like I didn't have any other options. I couldn't see them. So it was, maybe
that's how it is in that time, that you can't see the options.
So that maybe part of that is just when somebody feels that, is helping them to see that there are other options, that maybe because you can't always see what's maybe right in front of you sometimes.
Right. That's
maybe,
right.
Okay, so this is your situation. Okay, what about if they're okay with it? Because I would verify that just to make sure they're okay with you kind of maybe trying to help fix a little bit. Okay, so you're concerned about your living situation. What other options do you have? Do you have someplace you can stay? Do you have, could you move? What would it take to do that? And maybe just providing the support to find other options to maybe help them find What do they like to do? What brings them joy and made them feel better before? How can we bring that
And
back?
it's hard in those moments. It's hard to find that.
Yes.
I might have a really unique perspective on it, for the fact that I lost my mother to unaliving.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I think of. I have gone through, and I've had my moments. It was during the period of time that I was believing the misdiagnosis that I have. And the first thing, it wasn't even my kids that stopped me. It wasn't even my kids. It was, look what happened to everybody in your life when your mom did what she did. Look what happened to you. It was a small factor of it, but then I thought, well, what did my father go through? What did my grandparents go through? What did her boss go through? Like, she was at work when she did it. So there's lots of factors that I'm going through first. And I think that this might be also a reason why I people please a lot, is I think of other people before I think of myself. And even in that situation, it's, what would other people go through? But that's the first thing that comes into my mind. And again, I think it's just it's a different perspective, just for the aspect of, I lived it, I've been through it, and I'm a survivor of it, essentially, just not in the same manner.
And Michael, and I know we were laughing and joking about it, and that was him, by the way, and everything's really good, no hard feelings. He's headed off tomorrow, so that's great. But Michael, when he feels like he doesn't have options, is when he starts talking about this. He's going to quit his job, and we're going to go on the road, and we're going to do these things, and because for him, it allows him to feel like he has an option, and options are very important to him. So I've learned that when he gets this way, that it's about options for him, and knowing that you can feel that,
I get that. I get that, because I can see that I have a lot of the same tendencies. I just need to run, and it won't be as bad as that, but it will be something, because I get wrapped up in, going beta waves where you're so hyper focused on this one thing. It's like, no, we have to do this. We have to do this. You don't see the fact that there's a Yeti coming down. There's bears.
Right.
So,
well,
Go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead, Tony.
No, Tony, go ahead.
Well, I was jumping in. I've been kind of listening in and out because I was on the way to take my son to the chiropractor, but we had to stop at his work first because he's got to make a part for somebody's garage door, because he works for overhead doors. But you guys were talking about and Rebecca, this conversation came on when you came on, so I missed part of the conversation that you brought up. But I have been in that spot, that dark, overwhelming spot where you feel that there's nothing for you, that everybody's better off without you. I ended up in the hospital having aspirated in my lungs. A friend saved my life, literally saved my life, because if she hadn't grabbed my shoulder, first of all, if my friends hadn't come looking for me because they expected me to show up someplace, if they hadn't come looking for me, I wouldn't be here today to tell the story.
Wow, Tony.
But my friend grabbed me by the shoulders and gave me a hard shake that made me take a breath that caused the aspiration in my lungs. But I will take that aspiration in my lungs any day of the week.
Right on.
And my camera's off because I'm in my car. And
yeah.
We lost you, Tony. If you can hear. it's always a temporary thing, even if it's
Mhm.
long ongoing. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Mhm.
There does come a reason
Right.
to live. It does come if you give it a
Yeah.
chance.
And I have been on both sides. I have been the one who was very, very close to unaliving myself. And had somebody not stepped in and intervened, I would not be here. And I have also been the one to talk to people who were at that point and, really, I mean, really, really talking to people of like, don't do this. Like, talking people down. And I've done that a few different times. And it's very real. It's very real. And in that moment, that's exactly how they feel. Like they have that depth of hopelessness that just, and for me, trying to talk somebody off that ledge is almost more exhausting than when I was on the ledge. You know what I mean? Because when I was on the ledge, all of everything had it left. It exited stage right. It left. It was all gone. Like there was nothing there. But trying to convince somebody that they are worth having on this planet that's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing. But you know what? I would do it again every time.
Every time.
I mean, I would absolutely like give up days and be like, no. So it's it's difficult on both sides, and I think more people have those stories of I was this close or I was going to do that or I had thought of it. I think it's unfortunately a little bit more common than what people would think because, I mean, I don't know how many of us here on camera have been that way, but I have.
Yeah.
So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. So every single person on camera has been there. So that's 100% of everybody that's been here. So, and it's.
Let me just say that I'm glad that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm here.
Me too.
I'm glad that I'm here.
Me too.
And I couldn't find that in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know about the rest of the group, and now I'm feeling a little bad. I'm hoping I did not trigger anyone earlier. I realized that for me, part of being able to kind of almost laugh about it is part of being able to tell where I'm at.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a certain portion of, I mean, I've had this conversation because I live by myself. I don't have kids. I don't have necessarily, I often feel like I don't necessarily have someone I can turn to. So that's common for me. But the realization, I could go live in my car if I had to. Not what I want to.
Yeah.
Not something that I would want to go do. But it's not quite as desperate as sometimes it feels in that moment. Yeah, that wouldn't be great. But I wouldn't be completely homeless. At least, I could, it's like a level short of that there are other options. And even if it's not an option I really want.
Even if they suck temporarily, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It sucks.
Yes.
Right.
It's not always gonna suck.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I think to circle this back to a happy moment, I think this is a TR moment for everybody that that did not happen. We need to celebrate us being here. Yay for failing in that area. Look at you. Look
Yeah.
at you being a failure in that area. I am so glad you failed.
That's
But
a great failure. That is a great failure.
it's
I
a
don't
great
consider it a
failure.
failure. It's not a failure. It is a win for the side of good,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
people are there for you, and
Yeah.
that
Right.
there are other options, and that
Right.
you can
Yeah.
come out of the darkness, deep
Mhm.
darkness, and you can
Mhm.
find just a tiny bit of light, and then make it another day, and then maybe there's just a little bit
Yeah.
more light, or maybe it's the
Right.
same, and you go another day, and eventually
Mhm.
you can get to a place that is much more light most of the maybe most of the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
I just had the
Yes.
most amazing day that if I had let all of that stuff happen, would not
Mhm.
happen. And this doesn't happen
Right.
for me very often, but it was a really good
Right.
day.
I love that.
Yeah. I
I
love
love that.
it.
I love
I love
that.
it. I love it.
I mean, I did all the
That's good.
things, Christy. You'd be proud of me too, because stuff we've talked about recently. But it was a
Right.
very introspective morning, and I relaxed with my tea, and I had the cat, and it's really nice outside. So there's nature coming in. Now I didn't go for a
Yes.
walk. I needed
That's
I
okay.
need more nature than I get. But then
Right.
really looking at maybe I need to see if there's someone who can come in and clean, even if it's a couple hours a month,
Yeah. Yeah.
to do a little bit to help me there. And how could I get beyond? And then a little bit of
Mhm.
reading. And I had a really,
Yeah.
made some healthy food and had a nap with DJ. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
so nothing overly exciting, but all things that I
Mhm.
haven't always had.
Right. Right. Well, and and that's the season that we're coming into, is a season of introspection and a season of slowing down and breathing and looking around, and how can we be better? Because even if you don't start everything right now, if you just sit down and you get your journal, and you write down the things that you need to work on, like, not everything has to be worked on right at the moment that you realize it. If you think of the path as like moonlit, it only lights up a little bit at a time, whereas the sun like makes it super, super bright. So you only have to work on a little bit at a time. But if you have this list of stuff and it came to you in a moment of very good clarity and you've written it down, you can go back and you can look at it. And then when you're ready, you can work on it. And start with the small stuff, so that you have, you have those little victories, whether that's saving money, being healthy, working on yourself. Start with those little things, right? You don't come out and face that huge trauma first, because you don't have the tools and the skills to do that. So, you look at it and you're like, okay, my husband wants to run off to the woods of Alaska. What do I do? Okay, well, what I do is I listen. I shut up and I listen. And then I come on here and I laugh at it, because that's how I manage it. But, starting off with those little things, it gives you those little victories. And what those little victories do is it gives you the confidence and the courage to go on to the bigger things, right? So, I don't know what a little trauma would be, because, we don't rate those, right? And it looks different to everybody, but but maybe being locked out of your house, right? Maybe being locked out of your house or something for 3 hours and being scared, so maybe you face that first, right? And then you work up to those bigger things. Like I said, trauma is not one of those that it's not a competition, but start small. Even if you're trying to be healthier, maybe instead of the bowl of ice cream, replace it with a bowl of yogurt and granola. If you're trying to save money, save $5, every paycheck, and then build up. If you're trying to get out of debt, start with your smallest debt and then go up from there, because that gives you those benefits, and tools and confidence, because it's really lack of tools and lack of confidence that gets in our own way a lot,
Yeah.
And
Like when I
community.
and when I started coming, that was one of the earliest suggestions that Carol and Christy gave me, was write it down. It doesn't mean I have to deal with it right now. because I'm telling you, I couldn't deal with it right now. And I'm very glad to say, and it's hard for me to feel completely proud because the list isn't done. To me, everything needs to still get done, right? But I'm on the bigger stuff now. And it's all the little stuff. I've made it through the weeds of the little stuff. Now I'm on to the bigger stuff. So it happens. It just takes time and it takes consistency. That's it. It's consistency. That's one big thing that I have realized, especially in this last month. Consistency. Whether it be for my mental health or my physical health. Consistency.
Yeah.
And I think we got to stop expecting that we do everything that's on that list in the next month or the next year even. I'm just thinking for myself, my list, as I'm starting to write down the stuff that I need to deal with, that list is not going to go away in the next year. If I can just get a little healthier and maybe I'm able to cook a little bit more. I mean, that's for me. Health is the biggest kind of focus right now. Is I need to. I'd like to get healthier because then potentially I can do more to do other things. But if I can just make it through, have a little raise of happiness and hope, which is what the themes of fabric sewing stuff together was, and making myself a healthy meal, and I like leftovers because then I don't have to cook again for 2 or 3 meals. And if I'm trying hard to focus on that little stuff because there is a lot of times there doesn't feel like there's a lot of wins.
Right.
You know, the little stuff, little stuff. Listen to me. I'm adding letters into words right now. The little stuff, just like in the negative side, in the positive side, it adds up. Keep doing the little things. Keep doing the positive little things, because eventually, guess what? All of those little things feel like a mountain of good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my advice.
Right.
And somebody, you know, and keep in mind too, somebody's going to be glad. It may not look like it. Somebody's going to be so glad that you are here. It's going to happen. There's always somebody, even if you can't see them.
Right. Right.
I
Well,
like
and
to
then
also
I'd be sassy, and I'm like, I'm just sticking around to annoy all y'all and make you laugh.
I love that too. I kind of try to think of it as I have not finished whatever the work is that I need to do here.
Yeah.
Because for me, I've got it. I still have that. I've got to be able to give, or I'm not a worthy human being. So there's as long as there's someone I can give something to, even if it's a little, even if it's a smile as you walk down the street, as long as I'm still capable of doing that, then there's still good, and there's still more that I need to do. Because there's someone who's worth off. There's someone who doesn't have any rays of light, and somebody was nice to them and smiled at them and maybe helped them. And I've had those days where a really nice user at work who was just kind, even when it wasn't a great day for me, that made it help me get through that day.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I do that little bit for somebody else, that I'm never going to know I did.
Right.
That
Well,
makes
and
it
you know, I was reading, and I need to get kickback for this. I was reading in Personal Power Through Awareness. Y'all haven't gotten it yet. Go get it. I'm telling you. I am going to get sponsors for eyelashes and books somehow. Okay. Anyway, on with that. Onward and upward. But what they were talking about in this book, what she was talking about was how, you know, just being positive for other people raises your vibration, but it raises their vibration as well. And it can help them in some really, really good ways. And even saying words like peace, love, caring, abundant, enthusiastic, tranquil, serene, those are powerful words. So even just think of like those higher vibration words, you know, when you're talking, think of, you know, oh, I wish that things would calm down more. No, I wish that it was more peaceful. You know, even just changing how you speak is so powerful. And beautiful and easy, you know. I mean, we all know different ways of doing that.
Working on the can't. Like I
Yes.
can't do this. Like that's something I'm trying to break for
Right.
myself. Whether it be
Uh-huh.
like saying to myself, I can't do this. Like I don't know. Words just do a lot to me. And I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
else is that way, but words are very hard for me to like shift.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I
I'll
did
help
like
you.
what, I was gonna say, I really like what La Chameleon said. Is part of it
Mhm.
is seeking help early. So early on, when
Yeah.
I think we're not
Yes.
having that, you know, when we're not, and you're not usually quite as dark. At least for me, it wasn't. I wasn't
Right.
quite as far down
Right.
that hole. Is just
Mhm.
saying, I'm feeling part. You know, you're feeling this, and having
Mhm.
having people, which is what one of the many things I love about what you do, Carol, is you've
Mhm.
created a group where it's okay to say, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people just support you and are kind, or they make you
Mhm.
laugh about Alaska.
Mhm.
Because I'm sorry, I laughed hysterically.
That's okay. That's why I shared it. I was like, we're gonna bring this up.
Asking, I think, and
Yeah.
whether it be you talk to your doctor, and I did.
Mhm.
I now know
Mhm.
I have not allowed myself to get back to that place because I know there's certain meds that work for me. And when I
Yeah.
start to get close to that, I then ask, I make an appointment, and I'll do the
Mhm.
stuff where I'll call the nurse's line and say, I need to get in right away. I can tell
Mhm.
this is where I'm at. Please help me right now, because I know
Yeah.
this is good. This is going to go to a bad place.
Right.
And asking, and I've done that where I've been,
Mhm.
I need,
Yeah.
and having, and for me, what meds have helped kind of get through
Mhm.
some of that. Not do that for everybody, but
Mhm. Right.
but not, I guess, not being afraid to ask. And once you've been
Mhm.
to that place and have survived,
Mhm.
just not really allowing yourself to get quite so far down ever again, because I know
Right.
I can't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and what I wanted to say, because I kind of lost my train of thought, going back to doing things that people don't see. There's a thing here. It says there is a universal belief that having a great mission means you become famous. Many highly evolved souls with much important work to do choose to do it anonymously without any outer world recognition or fanfare. You cannot know the worth of the work you are doing here on earth if you are judging it by the standards of your personality, which looks at the form of it through other people's or society's standards. Only through the eyes of your soul can you know the impact of your life on humanity. And isn't that beautiful?
I love that.
Like, and you know, and again, the words, I don't, you know, like we in my family, we have a saying, you know, Clarks don't say can't. So you figure out a lot of ways to not say can't. I choose not to. I that's not in line with my beliefs. And, you know, even with powerful affirmations, you know, I am abundant now. I am wise now. I am peaceful now. It gives you that power. I don't like the word can't. I really don't. Now, you know, I can't stand flat-footed and reach the second shelf in my cabinets because I'm a hobbit. Is that going to stop me? Nope. I will scale those countertops like anybody. I will carry around my little stool and I will reach the second shelf however I have to.
I don't like the word can't for the people that say you can't do it. Don't tell me what I can and cannot do.
Doesn't that light a fire under you? Yes.
Yes.
Look at Rebecca. She's getting all sassy up in here.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Tony.
I really like that statement. This is not in line with my beliefs. I feel like that
Yeah.
might be a really good one to kind of help me, because my can't factor is the giving somebody my power by saying I can't do that for you. Like, because I'm choosing to do it. I'm choosing to not do it, right? I'm choosing to follow what it is that I want. And I've been struggling with a term to say instead of I can't do that, because in my head and it just easily comes out that way. It's a muscle to rework, right? So I've written that down.
Yes.
It also helps you to keep you from feeling like you're being manipulated. If you
That's my big thing.
if you turn around and say, "No, I can't do it. I choose not to do it," you're creating noise for yourself. You're keeping yourself in your thinking brain, and it's just a better place to be.
Mhm.
So often we get focused in on those beta waves where you're so hyper focused, you're just and you can't see things around you, and it's just amazing what good can come about when you don't have to be great at it. You don't have to be. All you have to do is just. I mean, some of the best things I've ever done was just turn around and wish people peace, um, happiness, things like that, to a
Hold
checkout
on.
lady at
Yeah.
the store. I mean, when they turn around and they've had a day and
Yeah.
they get tears welling up in their eyes just because you like, hey, let's just take a moment. Hey, I
Yeah.
care.
Right.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
and just knowing somebody cares for them
Somebody cares.
when you see that reaction in somebody else, when you find out the way at which their social needs, the way at which they view the world, and you're able to compliment somebody in line with that, you get back that huge response. That is priceless. And you
Yeah.
realize in these small things, and you know what? Yeah, you'll probably never hear of it again, but you carry that with you. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember I helped this person, I helped that person.
Yeah.
It's part
Yeah.
of trying to leave people better than we found them,
Right.
Yeah. Love
Yeah.
that.
And Stasia, I wanted to say to you, you said you're having trouble with using the word can't. Um,
Mhm.
how about I'm learning how to, instead of like, I can't do
Ooh.
this, I'm learning how to manage my time. I'm learning how to, whatever, and choosing, I choose. It's words are powerful. And even things like can't, shouldn't, those are things that I work very hard to take out of my vocabulary. I always try to find another way to say it that's more
Yeah.
positive, because
Mhm.
when you say, even if you say like, what was it you said right now? Like, I can't help you right now. Is that one of the things you said
I
that you
can't give
said?
you that information, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
instead of I can't give you that information, just, you could say I choose not to share that with you. Or if you don't have it, be like I don't have that information at this time. When I get it, I will get back to you. And I think that's kind of some of my sales stuff too, because we were always told never say I don't know. You're always supposed to say, I'm not sure of that answer. Let me find that out for you. So that's always, it's kind of been a lot of my training too. But I think
Mhm.
when you do that, when you start speaking on a higher vibrational plane, like, God, I'm so tired. Instead of that, if you say, I'm really looking forward to scheduling some time for peace for myself. Now, maybe that's a nap, maybe that's just sitting there staring at the wall, but it's all different, because I've done that too. I'm just like, I can't do anything other than I'm just going to stare. But I think that your words are really important. And, when you start speaking on that higher vibration, it's going to change. It changes your mind. Like it literally changes how you see things and how you perceive things. And you'll realize how much negativity you really said to yourself, or how much negative things you said to other people without even realizing it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we all are,
All are.
and how powerful is it to say, I choose not to, I choose not to, that's not the, it's inadequate to say, I can't, like, I can't do that.
Mhm.
That is a, hold on.
Mhm.
That's like you're inadequate in some way, but you're not inadequate. You're just choosing not to. I choose not to. And then you don't have to explain yourself. You ain't Lucy explaining something to Desi. You don't have to explain that. No, just nope. Why did I do it? Because I wanted to. And then we'll get the Rebecca hand snap going in there. Because I said. Like the
I'm just
stats.
going to turn off my camera and mute myself for a second. I got laundry to flip, and then I will be right back.
Okay. Tony B, are you still there? Okay.
I reached out to her. She looked a little sad. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And Brian isn't actually going to be able to come tonight and may need to talk, so I may go do that in a little bit here. But
Okay.
yeah, no is a complete sentence. I am not good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at that at all, and I need to be
Yeah.
better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, Christy, you could preach that again about phrasing things. I can use that reminder.
Hey,
regularly.
it took me a long time. I didn't realize how negative I was being toward myself until my therapist pointed it out to me. And she's like, do you really understand how just degrading and, because like deprecating, like degrading about my ability, self-deprecating, like toxic I was talking to myself, and I didn't realize it. And then I started writing down things that I was saying. And I was like, I wouldn't say that to my child. I wouldn't say that to my best friend. I wouldn't say that to a stranger on the street. So why am I saying it to myself? And there's a huge, we have to have a little bit of ego in order for us to be successful in life. Like ego is not all bad. A massive ego is unhealthy, but ego is not bad. And so if you say, I am good at this, I am a good writer, I am a good photographer. Well, those things are true. But you shouldn't feel guilty about saying those things either, and I think a lot of times we've been made for whatever reason, whether it was intentional or not, sometimes it's how we perceived things, or sometimes it was really somebody intentional being awful to us. But you get to pick that for yourself. And that's the other thing. Like you get to choose, you get to decide who you want to be. And, it's not going to be easy, but, you can, if Tommy can stop robbing banks and quit being a heroin addict and turn out to be the guy he is, I am pretty doggone dang sure that any of us here can turn ourselves around, sort ourselves out, as I say to the dogs, who are now licking each other's noses. They're a mess. They're a mess. He sits on her, she sits on him, they bite each other, and then next thing you know, they're like laying right next to each other, like licking each other. I'm like, what kind of relationship do you guys have? It's not healthy. But
maybe we need to remind ourselves and do a little, this great thing happened to me.
yes.
I would happily be part of that, because I don't toot my own horn very much at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was raised, you don't do that. That's wrong.
Right.
That's prideful. That's,
Mm-hmm.
But in
Mhm.
reality, I think we need to celebrate the little wins and the good days. And when we finish something,
Yes.
whatever it
Mhm.
happens to be, no matter
Yeah.
how small, let's be
Yeah.
happy and celebrate those things too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've noticed that was a major change in my life, is receiving a compliment. It was so
Yeah.
hard because we like to beat ourselves up. Say, oh, well, no, you don't understand. One of the things that Dr. Phil said that I do like, and he said, I keep making it sound like I never agree with him. I actually agree with him quite a bit. But one of the things he said that I did like was when somebody gives you a compliment, just say, thank you. So kind of
Mhm.
you to notice, because we just are built I mean, the commercial, look at commercials. All you have to do is look at a commercial. You're not good enough, and you need to compare yourself to other people. Those are two of the most dangerous messages you can possibly take in, and that is what is in. All you have to do is just look at commercials, anything from drugs to fabric softener, and that is the message that's being pitched: is you're not
Yeah.
good enough, and you need to compare yourselves to other people. And those
That's true.
There's a really fun exercise that was thrown into my therapies today. Actually, it's funny that this is coming up. It's a game, and she's saying, "Give me 5 qualities about yourself that you like," and you got to say them as quickly as possible. And she was telling me how when she started this job, she would say something like, "Oh, that was such a stupid thing that I did," and the boss would come over and say, "No, now you've got to," and then they would play this game. And she's like, "Your brain is so much like mine that this is what I'm going to do with you. I'm just going to, as soon as you say something that's self-deprecating or something that is negative towards yourself, it's okay, as fast as you can, give me 5 qualities about yourself that you like. You can't say anything negative." Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, one thing my dad used to say is he would say, "Don't take away someone's blessing." And what he meant by that was if somebody wants to bless you with a comment, or somebody wants to bless you with a gift, or somebody wants to bless you with something, don't take away their joy in doing that for you. You know, "Oh, no, you know. And to me, that was something that has always stuck with me. And I mean, this is kind of a lame example, but when I was selling obnoxiously expensive purses, you know, the husband and the wife would come in, or the guy and the girlfriend, or whatever, and the guy would be like super, super excited because he'd worked hard and he'd saved this money and he was going to buy her this purse. Bye, Becca. And
thank you.
And she would be like, "Oh, you know," he'd be like, "Pick whatever on the, you know, in this price range." And she would like argue, "Well, no, you know, no, I don't know, no." And so every time I would pull the ladies aside and I would be like, "You know, my dad used to always say, don't take away somebody's blessing. He's blessing you with this. So see how proud he is to be here to buy this for you. See how happy that's making him. By you arguing with him, it's kind of taken away his blessing. So you know what? Let's go pick out the best dang purse in your price range. Like, let's go for the top of that, baby. What do you want? You want red? You want blue? You want pink? What do you want? You know?" And when you do, and when you see it that way, when you see, because I would see it all the time and it was very obvious, you know, like he would come in and he'd be all happy and then his face just went from like to like, and he would just do that, you know, and it really made you feel bad. And she was trying to save money, you know, but he didn't care because he had saved the money. So I think that goes for ourselves and compliments and everything too. Like, don't take away someone's blessing. Don't argue with them about it. Just, you know, be thankful that they thought of you in that way, you know?
Yeah. So when they say nice dress, stop saying it's got pockets.
Oh, no, now that's a good thing. You can be like, "It's got pockets." I get very excited about things that have pockets. Then the whole thing is a lot of women's stuff don't have pockets. Or they're these tiny little pockets that don't do any good. It's not like guys' britches where like you got pockets. No. We got fake pockets. We got pockets that are this deep. We got no pockets at all. So yeah, when a dress has pockets, that's like a huge win. That's a big win. When anything for women has pockets, celebrate that.
Are you here?
That's my go-to. Instead of saying thank you, I'm just in this pocket.
I think that has pockets is right up there with thank you.
Yeah, that's celebratory. That is 1,000% celebratory. Because then you're like, "Oh, where'd you get it? Where did you get this thing with these elusive pockets?" I was watching a bridal show, and this bride gown had pockets, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was so flabbergasted. Like, I need a wedding gown, but I wanted that one because it had pockets.
Are you with us, Tony? Can you hear us, Tony? I've really been wanting to hear what you had to say.
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
hear you.
yeah.
I'm having phone issues, unfortunately. I'm in
Okay.
my car. My phone's overheating.
Oh,
And my son, who has worked at phone places and replaced phone screens and stuff like that, he's like, well, the problem is you have an iPhone. My son is so against iPhone. He's like, it's an Apple, there's your problem. But no, he thinks my battery's bad and I have to probably get her.
Mm.
So,
it
okay,
is.
so I don't know what all was heard from me and what wasn't.
Well, not much of anything. In fact, you're very faint
Mm.
right now. It's a little difficult to hear you right now, but there wasn't anything that came through, and I'm sorry to have to say that because
Oh, that's
I really
okay.
wanted
That's
to hear
okay.
what
Is
you had
that
to
better? Can you
say.
hear me better?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is better. Thank you.
Okay. So I know that I was talking about having been down that dark road,
Yeah.
and you guys have taken the conversation on since then. So I really don't want to go back down that road, just except
Okay.
to say that what we do to ourselves can affect the future of our children's lives.
Yes. Yes.
If we are what would be considered succeeding in our plans,
Yeah.
the likelihood that our children will do one or more of our children will do the same. That's what keeps me from ever doing it again. I learned that when I was in the hospital on the
Yeah.
psych ward for 3 weeks. The other thing I learned was to stand up to my ex-husband. So I counted that a win as well. Best 3 weeks of my life, if you ask me.
Wow.
But Christy, Alaska,
Yes.
not a bad place to live. I loved it. I would live there again in a heartbeat. Living in the wilderness part, little concerning, but it could
Yeah.
be fun. Trust me, you could have a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
fun.
We lived in Alaska for 6 months, and I love Alaska. But again, the wilderness in wintertime in the dark. No, I'm not up for that. Huh? We're
Right?
not up for that, are we, Mikey? No, we are bougie people. We do not do that. No,
Well,
look at this face.
you could spend the summers there in the cabin out in the wilderness and spend the winters in town. There you go. There's a
There you go. I'll be like, you can stay here all winter. I am going to town.
There you go. There you go. See, there's always a compromise.
Right.
When it comes to positive thinking, that can be hard. But I have learned through trial and error that positive thinking gets me further in my life than negative. So working with the positive words instead of the negative words can get you so much further in what you want to achieve in your life. And
Yes.
that includes not just for yourself, but for those around you. Like Rebecca said, that smile that you give to somebody, or that somebody gives to you, that you're having that bad day, and it's just that one positive word or that one sweet smile that just makes things 1,000 times better. It lets you know that you're appreciated. People don't realize the necessity of others to have positivity in their lives, because sometimes so many deal with so much negativity that one little bit of positivity that they receive that one day, it can save their lives. I have lost friends to decisions that they made, and it hurts because I miss those friends to this day.
Yeah.
And I often wonder, what could somebody have done if I wasn't there, to be with them, to give them that positive thought? What could somebody else have done for my friend? But chose not to.
Yeah.
So we need to stop and think, the positivity not goes only for others, but it goes for ourselves as well. We have to protect our own selves. So saying in a positive way that, I would really like to help you, but at this moment, I don't have the energy to put towards what you need. So I'm going to take care of myself at this moment. But once I'm feeling better, I'll be more than happy to help you. That leaves them with that positivity that you're still willing to help, but you're not blowing them off. You're there, and it helps them realize, okay, wait, she needs to care for herself too, as much as she wants to help me care for myself. So it's that dual positivity that you're giving. You're caring for yourself, yet you're letting the other person know that as soon as I have myself in a space that I need to be in, I will help you. Because we can't always be there for everybody. But don't ever forget that one smile that you give, that one hello, that one thank you, that one I appreciate you can mean the world to somebody.
Yeah, it can.
And so the more that we do that, I feel the more that maybe the world will start doing that. And the world can become a better place. Oh my God. I'm saying that song. I can't think of the name of it, but I can hear it in my head from when I was younger. But we can. Just the little bits that we can give. And it doesn't mean we have to give a big part of ourselves. It's just that small part, that smile.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't feel like smiling, but somebody will smile at us, and what do? We smile back. Smiling is contagious. So that one person you come across that's not smiling, and you smile, say hi, good morning, whatever, what happens? They smile. They feel better because it's
Tara!
Hi. How are you all? I'm sorry to pop in at the very end here. I know I'm astronomically late, but I sat down in front of my computer. I'm getting ready to go live at 4, and I was like, I saw you were still live, and I was like, I'm going to pop in for a second. It's been too long.
I'm so glad you did.
So glad you're here.
How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super, super busy right now. Everything is pretty
I can
wild.
tell. Yeah.
I promised some people that I would go live tonight, and I was like, I don't have time for this, but I'm like, you know what? Under promise, over deliver. So here I am.
That just goes, oh wow.
Oh, I thought you were saying something, Tony.
That's awesome. Well, it's good to see your face. I was talking about my husband's crazy idea that he wants to quit his job, pack up everything he can carry, and move to the wilds of Alaska and build a cabin. Yeah. Mama ain't on board.
Is he? You're not on board. Not on board. Is he serious or is he playing around?
No, he was like quasi, like 3/4 serious, like 1/4 not serious. Yeah, but things fortunately have mellowed out for us, so we are beyond that for this moment. Yeah. So.
For the next 5 minutes. No.
Is there,
yeah.
Is there any part of you that would entertain it for even a hot minute?
I mean, so if it was my choice, then, like I'm not completely adverse to, living in the wilds of Alaska. But carrying everything that we can own on our backpack and having the dogs walk behind us and carrying Shitty Kitty in a purse and like cutting down logs and building a garden from scratch and canning food and digging a root cellar with our bare hands. I don't know that that's the part I want to sign up for. You get that all done and I can roll up, and be all bougie about it. Then I could possibly show up for you. But I don't know how pleasant I would be if you're asking me to chop down a tree. Don't be in my way.
Well, I can just imagine you taking an axe to a block of Gouda or something like that.
Yes. I'll be like, you know what? I am going to it's not from make. I'm going to make my own cheese. I'm going to have a cheese shop over here.
Is your husband into guns?
Yeah, so he's ex-military. So that's his thing. So I mean, long story short, you'll have to go back when you have time and listen to the whole thing. But yeah, he had this whole plan. Like, it would have made a prepper envious. And so last night I sat there and listened to it, and I'm just like, don't say anything. Shut up. Don't say anything. And I'm like, and the whole time I'm like texting other people and writing stuff down and doing other things. And I'm like, oh yeah, sounds great. Just so he could get it all out.
So I am not into guns at all, but I spent some time in Alaska with my uncle building a tiny home for him. I went out there to help him, and he had to teach me how to use a gun because he would leave me alone and drive out to it was the Fairbanks, like, rural area, like an hour outside of Fairbanks. And so, he didn't feel comfortable leaving me on the property without teaching me how to use a gun first.
Yeah. I mean, bears.
Yeah, exactly. Grizzlies. Yeah.
Yep. So that was my crazy adventure. So
Right on. And how's everybody else doing? I feel like it's been forever.
It has been busy, but lots of behind the scenes progress. Just it's waiting for all of that progress to come to fruition and all of that. So you know what I have to do is I have to remind myself. I think it was Carol who had said it before. The river's like calm on top, but there's always moving at the bottom. I need to remember that, and I need to remember that I've done everything I can. Now I sit and wait.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part. Just
not
hurrying up and what's that? Say it again.
I'm not patient.
Not patient. Well, you are learning patience right now, my friend.
Yes.
And Carol, how are you doing?
I am nursing sick goats right now, or a sick goat. Yeah. I gave him the medicine that I gave the other guys and that cleared up their symptoms, and it wasn't doing anything on him. So I have 3 medicines I have to give him tonight, and for the next 2 nights following, I have to give him the other 2. And then I have to do that again in a week's time. Little guy.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's a lot to be managing.
Yeah, it's no fun. He's not doing really good right now, so I'm hoping the medicine works fast.
There's so many people and animals that are not feeling very well right now.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, I'm feeling okay. I think maybe once the adrenaline subsides from being so busy the past few weeks, like maybe my body will need a break, but ain't no time for that right now.
Right.
And Ben, how are you doing? How are you feeling today?
I'm not moving to Alaska. I'm not going to face the Yeti. I'm not. Other than that, I'm doing okay.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. And I've been just noticing that Ben's screen changes every so often, and there's been 2 quotes already that I've written down.
What were they?
The one that's there right now is "We rise by lifting others," and then "Do good recklessly."
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the 2 that I've caught. So now I know to like keep an eye on Ben's screen because I'm gonna have like little things that I can write down.
There you go.
I like that. Do good recklessly. I like that.
Trying to program people.
It's perfect.
Now your secret's out. Now you're busted.
Nice.
Well, So you're doing 4 Pacific time. So you're going on in about 15 minutes, huh?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it on your YouTube channel or on Discord?
On YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube. Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I can find you here.
What is your Discord's on Thursday, right?
Yep, Discord's on Thursday. I am not going to be at the Discord meeting tomorrow night. Rachel, my friend Rachel, my bestie Rachel, is filling in for me tomorrow night, and then I will be back to Discord the following week. But I promised some people in the Discord meeting last week that I was going to be going live tonight. So I was like, I seriously don't think I can squeeze it in. But I was like, you know what? I promised. I'm following through with this. And then
there you go.
And then I saw y'all here. So thanks for letting me pop in at the very end like a YouTube bomber.
No, hey, it's good. We love it when you crash the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you for letting me in, Carol.
Yeah, I'm going to put your link up to your show tonight and also your channel.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Very cool.
Make sure and go check Tara Smiling out. She does good stuff, you guys.
Oh yeah.
She does great work.
Yeah.
How's Vicky doing? Vicky still doing okay?
Oh, Vicky. I thought you said freaky. I was like, where is this conversation going? Vicky's doing great. She's doing great. Maybe I'll bring her on camera during the live stream. She's on my refrigerator right now, but she is
awesome.
She's getting real big. I'm going to be making a few things with her this evening, so I fed her a bunch the past few days, and she's looking strong. She's looking healthy. She's looking delicious.
There you go. There you go. Now, for those that don't know, Vicky is your sourdough starter.
Yes, thank you. I forget that people Vicky is my everything. She is my world. So sometimes I forget that I need to explain. She is my sourdough starter. We just celebrated her 1-year birthday on May 21st. So it's the first time.
My husband's birthday is May 21st.
That's right. I remember we were celebrating on the same day, and I think he was like, "Who's Vicky?" And I was like, "Long story." But they say in recovery that once you keep a plant or a pet alive for a year, that you're ready for a relationship. And I don't know that that's actually the case with me, but I just felt so accomplished that I kept something alive because Vicky is alive.
Yes.
I'm really proud of myself for that.
You should be. That's a big milestone. You know, that's a big, yes. I think that's amazing. Your celebration.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Because I don't know that I would have kept a sourdough starter alive that long. I would have forgot to have feeded it, would have died and molded and stunk up the house or whatever.
I think that is Surviving Together going, okay, I don't want to compete with Surviving Together, but I promised some people. So I'm probably just going to go on for an hour, but I don't want to steal any of their traffic. But I thought when I started Vicky that I wasn't quite sure how long I would keep her, and other sourdough starters I've had.
Okay, thank you. I was going to do
several
that and I
months
didn't get
before I had to move or I went into a shelter. So many things happened the past few years that made it impossible for me to keep a sourdough starter. So I'm thankful that I have the stability and the the right environment to be able to take care of her.
Yeah. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's good.
Oh, I forgot to share my news with you too, Tara. I don't know if you caught an email that was sent to you, but I have a music video that is debuting on Friday. We're doing a debut party. And please, there is an email to you from Conversations with Christy. Find it, read it, watch it, because you're a part of it. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it okay if I don't catch it immediately? Because I have a friend coming into town tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're here until Monday. Is it okay if I don't get it right when it comes out?
Absolutely. If you read your email, you'll actually get to see it.
So I'm so sorry. There are so many emails that I'm
sure.
I have
I'm
just
sure.
not been able to get to everything. I do apologize. It is not
No,
personal at all.
no. Oh, and I don't take it that way. It's
Okay,
just
good.
you're a part of something, so I wanted you to see your part in it. But
Okay.
it's I'm releasing my music video worldwide debut.
That is
I mean,
so exciting.
worldwide as much as I have a reach. Okay, as far as my 141 subscribers take me, that's where it is. But it's a song that it's a song that I wrote, and Stasia did the video, and there's a little thing in there I think you would appreciate, and I'm super excited to launch it. But yeah, if whenever you catch it is cool. But if you check out that email, you're gonna get an exclusive. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I will get the email. I might even have to watch this thing when my friend is in town just because just to see what all the buzz is about.
Yes. I'm very proud of myself. So that's another thing I did.
That's so cool. Is it going to be a premiere, or are you how are you releasing it? You're premiering it?
It'll be a premiere. And then I'll be going live after it to kind of talk about it. Because I'm really proud of it.
Right on. I can't promise that I'll be at the premiere or in your live.
Okay.
I can't commit to it, but
No,
I
that's
hope
okay.
that it goes really well for you. And if
Thank
I'm able
you.
to pop in for even a minute, I will do my best to do that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that email, it came from conversations with Christy, so it's probably not an email you've seen before. So, but if you check that out,
I saw it come through, just to be honest with you. I saw it pop up as a notification, but I haven't had time to actually open it.
No.
So
Don't worry about it.
I will. I promise. I promise I will get to it.
Just when you get a chance. Yeah, because I really want you to see it.
Awesome. I will. I can promise you that.
Yes.
Good deal.
And I'm just going to cut in here real quick. My tummy is starting to grumble. I'm getting really, really hungry. I'm going to go get some food to bring up the blood sugars and the energy and all of that. But I love you all. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy your food.
Have a good one.
Okay, I'm going to pop off too. I just wanted to drop in and say, what's up, everybody? So nice
Right.
to see you.
So glad to see you.
Yeah, hopefully I see you sometime soon. It won't be before Monday probably, but hopefully sometime soon, shortly after.
Yes. All right. Take care. Have a good life.
Thank you so much. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Bye.
Finally home.
Nice.
Phone in front of a fan.
There you
But
go.
I have to go get a new phone. So Josh is like, your phone's about to go, so you need to get a phone as soon as possible. So.
Oh no,
Yay,
that's not
new
good.
phone.
Yeah.
Mine keeps overheating. Like I can have it plugged in and charging even at home, and if I don't have my phone sitting in front of the fan where the fan can blow on it, it'll overheat.
Oh. Wow.
He thinks it's the battery, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but that was a big part of my problem because I was in the car and I kept having to hold my phone to the AC for it to stay cool, and I finally gave up on it.
Oh gosh.
So, but I'm excited about your premiere.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm excited about your premiere, Christy. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Is that tonight?
It's Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm telling everybody, come, put on your best rock star gear. I mean, I won't be able to see you, but live in the moment. Let your inner rock star out, and we'll celebrate this.
Sounds good. So I'm going to jump off. My husband's had the day off. We got to spend part of the day together, which was so nice. We don't get to do that very often. So we got to escape the house for a couple hours. Nice. What's so funny, Ben?
Probably laughing at me.
I was going to pick out the way you were laughing.
So, but I'm going to hop off here, spend the rest of the evening with him since he had the day off, because he calls the mail he works for a contractor that takes the mail in a rig back and forth from the airport to downtown,
Okay.
to Tiger Station and all that. And
Nice.
so
Yeah.
imagine a big truck going through downtown 4 times a day. That's my husband
wow.
in Columbia.
Wow.
Wow.
And he
Wow.
hates Halloween because of all the little ones that go running around and parents that don't watch their little ones very well, and they go running out across the street right in front of them.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. So that's the day he's going putt, 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 putt. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's going putt, putt, putt down the street so he doesn't hit a little one.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to hop off. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Bye.
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 All
Rebecca
right.
was asking what time your video premieres.
7 Central. So that would be 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. Yeah. And if you have subbed to my channel and you click the notifications and you click all, you should get a thing when it's coming up, but it'll be under it. You can take a look at it. It shows, so under the video tabs, it will show that. So there's the Gemini, premiere, and then there's going to be the music video under there. So that's where you're going to find that. But apparently it's got like this whole like countdown that it's going to do, and it's going to come on and it's going to play. And then after it's done playing, it's like, I don't know, 5 minutes long, 4.5 minutes, something like that. Then I'm going to go live. And kind of explain what the song was about, and, different, because I'll go ahead and let you in on this. There are some people that are important to me that are represented in the video, and I'm going to explain who they are and why that was chosen, because they're all people that have encouraged me and helped me in life, and I wanted to, give them a little shout out. But yeah, so that's it. That's what we're going to do. Nice. So I'm very excited about it. Yes. But I too am going to hop off. I am going to check back in with Michael. He said he had to turn in some time and do a few things. So he's actually leaving tomorrow morning, and it is a 12-hour and like 20-minute drive from Mandan, North Dakota to Peoria, Illinois. So I'm sure I'll be looking for hotels around there. Hopefully they're cheaper than they are in North Dakota. Motel 6 was $116 a night in Bismarck, North Dakota. So if you're planning a trip to North Dakota, make sure you got some money saved for those hotel rooms, because they are ridiculous. But it was a good meeting. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you later. Have a good one, guys.
Too, Christy. Yes.
How do you follow that?
Right?
I got nothing. I forgot to thank Christy for the Stargate. Yeah. That's
it's okay.
It's a chart.
Nice.
But yeah, it kind of looks like a Stargate. So
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's neat.
But yeah, I got her to do my chart, and so yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it means. Which right now, I don't have a clue. But yeah, so yeah, it gives me something to dig in on. But I hope you have a great day. I hope everything works out well with the goatsy.
Thank you.
And I hope Jet the donkey's doing okay.
Yeah, I just saw him wiggling his tail out there. The flies are wearing the itch out of him, poor guy.
You have a great day.
You too. All right, you guys, great meeting. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us. Thank you for being here and being part of this community. I love you so much, and I appreciate you being here. And I hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.